Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Thursday class. We're going to start with a little warm up and then focus on our core a little bit today. Going to need a ball. If you don't have a ball, a sofa cushion would do as well. So we're going to bring those feet together. We're going to go heels out, toes come out to meet, and then we're just going to take a little rock through the ankle. Start to warm up through the ankle, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start to add in a bit of a knee bend with that too. So we're just bending the knees, starting to move the arms as well, so get all those joints going.
Your knees? Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you can't wear the new ones. They're not for lovers. They're for good. They're for posh times. Do you want to wear these?
Final one.
You can't wear grey.
And bring your feet to stand still. We're just going to do a little bit of a lateral flexion, so just a nice side bend.
They're not for lovers.
One more to each side here. And then coming back to the middle. Next, we're going to do some rotation through that mid spine. So we're going to bring both arms up, rotate one back, come back to the center, rotate the other back to the center. One more to each side. And then gently bring those arms back down. Then grabbing hold of your band, you're going to pop your band under your feet. And then we're going to start with a bicep curl. So just a gentle bicep curl on each side to start with. We're going to do 5 of these on each side. Working into those arms. 2 more on each side. Final one on each side. Okay, then we're going to bring in both arms. So we're going to do both arms. And we're going to do 2 more of these. Just to get you used to that. So you might need to adjust your band. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do both arms. We're going to hold it. Then we're going to shift the weight onto one leg and bring the other leg up. Holding the arms nice and still. We're now going to push that leg back down into the floor. And then we're going to lift the other leg. And then again, push that back down into the floor. Lift the other leg. Push it down into the floor. Lift. And push it down into the floor. One more to each side. Love this, it's good. This one is thanks to my mum Jackie. She went through a few moves with me yesterday that she's started to use, and I was like, oh, this is good. Let's do this. Okay, then gently letting those arms off, popping your band somewhere where it's out of the way. Going to go into our roll downs next. So we're going to do 3 roll downs today, adding press ups into each one. So we're going to inhale at the top, exhale, tuck your chin, gently roll down through each vertebrae one at a time. When you get to the bottom, heels stay on the floor for as long as possible, walking forward into your high press up. And then you can make the decision to either bring your knees to the floor or keep your knees lifted. And then we're doing 5 press ups. And walking your hands back in. Heels to the floor, legs to straight hold for an inhale. And then exhale. Slowly rolling back up to standing. 2 more to go. Inhaling at the top. Exhale. Gently moving down. Keeping that movement slow and controlled. Coming out into your high press up again. And then gently bringing those arms back in, holding at the bottom for an inhale. And an exhale, pushing down into those toes as you roll back up. One more here. Walking forward into that high press up again. This time, after you've finished your press ups, finding your way to the mat and staying at the mat. Oh. Well, that raised my heart rate. Okay. Next, either using the ball or your pillow if you don't have a ball, or you can just do it laying on your back without the ball. The ball gives you an unstable surface, so it makes it slightly more challenging. But if it isn't right for you, or if it's uncomfortable anyway, if it hurts your lower back, then please don't use the ball. I'm going to pop the ball in your lower back lumbar spine. So you're laying on the ball. Pelvis stays on top of the ball, so make sure you're not arching your back round the ball. Bum up, tailbone to the bottom of your mat. Arms gently resting on the floor. We're going to bring one leg into tabletop. Hold here for an inhale. Thinking wide thoracic breathing. Remember, exhale, engage that core and pelvic floor. Then we're going to take the knee slowly towards the side. Going to do it slowly so you can really use your core to keep the keep balanced on the ball. Your core is doing the stabilization. We're going to inhale here and then exhale. Slowly bring that knee back to the middle, and then we're going to bring that leg down. Swap to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Core and pelvic floor engaged. Take the knee out to the side. Another thing to check is that you're not putting loads of weight through your arms. So you should be able to bring your arms up off the floor and pop them back down and not have wobbled off the ball in the process. So there shouldn't be too much weight going through those arms. Keeping hold of that rib dip. Changing legs every time, so make sure you're alternating sides. Only taking that knee out as far as you can without anything changing that middle. So back shouldn't arch, belly shouldn't dome. Keeping that movement nice and in control. So you're in control of how far out that leg goes, in control of the fact that you're not rolling to that side when the leg moves out. We're going to do one more on each side. And you can gently bring those legs down. Take that ball from behind your back and just give yourself a full body stretch. And then we're going to roll onto a side, so you can pick which side to do first. I want you to think about that setup though, so your hip and your shoulder are in line and you're using your arm as a little cushion, maybe with a head cushion under your head. If you need more support, you can bend the bottom leg. Then the top leg is coming up to hip height and the arm is coming up and over your head. Wiggle this way a bit and then I'll be able to stretch my arm out. We're going to inhale here. We're going to exhale, engage your core and pelvic floor, and you're going to bring the knee and the elbow together in the middle. Try not to let them raise up into the sky, so try and keep them at hip height. Hold for an inhale. And then exhale, push back out so they're both nice and long. Inhaling here. Exhale, core and pelvic floor switch on, and we're bringing that leg and arm together. Inhale. Exhale. Pushing back out. Inhale there. Exhale. Okay, 3 to go. Holding for your inhales, moving on your exhales. We're using that core and pelvic floor to help stabilize that movement. Remember, you're trying to keep that arm and leg on the same plane, so don't let that arm and leg drop down or lift up into the air. We've got 2 to go. Super, well done. Then grabbing hold of your ankle, bringing your knee in line and pulling that leg back so you get that quad stretch. If you need to, you can grab hold of your band, wrap the band around the front of your foot like so, and then hold on to the band instead. If you can't get hold of the front of your ankle, holding it there, taking that nice quad stretch. And then gently releasing that leg off. We're going to swap to the other side. So hip and shoulder are in a line, using your arm as a little cushion. Going to bend that bottom leg if you need a little bit more support. Bring the arm up and over your head. Lift the top leg to hip height. We're inhaling here. Exhale, core and pelvic floor switch on. Bring that knee and elbow together in the middle. Remember, make sure they're not raising up too high. Inhale here, pushing that arm and leg back out, really stretching out that side. As you exhale, really thinking about pulling your ribs down towards your hips, your hip bones together, engaging that pelvic floor. So we're thinking sit bone to sit bone, pubic bone to tailbone as you stretch the arm and leg out. See if you can make it longer every time you take them out. Just start to feel this in your glutes. Might also feel a little bit in the arm and the shoulder. That's kind of where I'm feeling it right now. have 3 to go. I always think the second side goes quicker. Definitely feels like it today. And final time here. And then again, either with your band or just with your hand, grabbing hold of your foot, bringing that knee in line, trying not to let the knee go up into the air, and taking that quad stretch. And then gently releasing that foot off and bringing yourself back up to sitting. Okay. Going to go back onto our backs using the ball again. If you want to, again, as last time, you don't have to use the ball if it's not right for you. You're going to bring the ball into your lower back, lumbar spine. Bring both legs into tabletop this time. So we're going to do just a simple toe tap. We're going to inhale here, exhale. Bring one foot down, inhale, hold. Exhale back to the center. Inhale in the middle. Exhale. Bring that leg down. Inhale, hold. And then exhale back to the center. If you're finding it too tricky with both legs in tabletop, you can go back to a single leg in tabletop instead. That's absolutely fine. Careful that this isn't happening with your knees. If you find that like the ball with 2 legs in tabletop is too hard, but 1 leg in tabletop isn't enough, then ditch the ball and go back to 2 legs in tabletop here, and you'll probably find that that's kind of like a good place to maybe be instead. Sometimes 1 leg in tabletop doesn't feel quite right, but this can be better. I'm just going to pop the ball back. My ball is a little bit overinflated now. I've got both legs in tabletop though. As you tap the floor, try not to put all of your weight down into that floor, so it really is just a tap on the floor. We're going to do one more on each side. And then you can come off the ball if you're still on the ball. And then give yourself a full body stretch. And then you can come back up to sitting again. We're going to go on to 4-point kneeling exercise now. So we're going to do swimming. This is really good for building strength in the muscles in the backside of your body. If you can't be on your wrists like this, you can make a fist instead, or roll up your mat to change the angle. And you can always roll up a little bit more mat or pop a cushion under your knees if you need to, if they don't like it either. If you can't be in 4-point kneeling, then you're going to do this laying on your front instead. So we're going to come into our box position. Wrists around your shoulders, knees around your hips, thigh line is down at the floor. So make sure you're not doing this with your head or looking back towards your knees. So find where your head is in line with the rest of your spine. We're going to inhale here. Exhale. Stretch that arm and leg out. Careful that nothing changes here. You're not letting your belly dome or your back arch. You're keeping your pelvis in neutral. We're inhaling. And then exhale back to the center. Inhale in the middle. Exhale. stretch that arm and leg out, hold. And then exhale, slowly coming back to the center. Inhale in the middle. Exhale, stretch and reach. A really slow, controlled move as you bring that arm and leg back to the center. So make sure you're not kind of really dumping them back down into the floor. There shouldn't be a weight shift. The weight should stay nice and central, so your core is working hard to make that possible. Every time you reach that arm and leg out, try and make them a little bit longer. Make sure that the hip isn't hitching as you take the arm and leg out, so you're keeping those hips next to each other. Imagine you've got a tray of drinks on your back. You need to keep that tray nice and still. Make sure it doesn't wobble off. One more to each side. This is really good for working those muscles in the back side of your body, so it's going to help with your posture. And then gently coming back down. We're going to go into child's pose. So we're going to come back into child's pose. You can either bring your fingertips to the floor, or with your ball, pop the ball under your wrist, and then you can really push down through the shoulders. Remember, you're keeping your chin lifted. Don't curl your chin or tuck your chin. Yeah, good stretch through the shoulder. Hold it there. And then we're going to come around to the side. You can ditch the ball because the ball doesn't really make any difference at the side. And then stretch through the side of your back. And then round to the right hand side. Take that stretch to the left hand side of your back. And then come back to the middle. Okay. Coming back down, going to do a nice stretch next. Feeling like do a nice stretch for your back. So you're going to come to laying down on the mat. Then once you're laying down on the mat, going to bring both legs up into tabletop, bring your knees and your feet together, arms just nice and wide from your sides. Going to slowly let both legs roll over to one side. So the legs are off, the hip is obviously off the floor and the legs are both on top of each other. Try and keep the knees in line, try not to let that top knee be back, and then you're going to look in the opposite direction to the way your knees fell, holding it there. And then putting those legs back to the middle. And then we're going to go to the other side. So taking the legs over to the other side, keeping those knees in line. And then again, looking in the opposite direction, holding it there. And then pulling those legs back to the middle, you can just hug those knees into your chest. And then when you're ready, coming back to sitting. Going to do a little bit of rotation next. So we're going to do up saw. So this is also really good for just getting a gentle hamstring stretch. So you're going to bring both legs out in front. You're going to bring your arms up, make sure your shoulders haven't come up to your ears. We're going to inhale and rotate. Exhale, reach forward, keeping your sit bones on the floor. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, back to the middle. Inhale and rotate. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, back to the middle. So every time you rotate, just seeing if you can stretch forward a little bit further, making sure you are rotating before you lean forward, keeping those shoulder blades nice and relaxed on your upper back. We're going to do one more to each side. Final time here. And then coming back to the middle. I'm going to bring your feet together. I'm going to do a little butterfly. I've stolen this from Fion's yoga class. Hands are behind you, but try not to lean your weight back. Try and keep your spine nice and tall. We're going to bring the knees together and then slowly take them out. Knees together, slowly take them out. So this is just a nice mobility release for the hips. And this time I'm going to leave the knees down there. And you're going to bring your elbows in and push your elbows down into your knees. At the same time, you're going to push your knees up into your elbows, holding it there. And then releasing that off. You can come to sitting cross-legged. We're going to stretch your arms to the sky. Stretch them to the sides of your room. Stretch them behind you. And in front of you. And then just give those arms a little shake. And then we're going to leave it there for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Very core focus. Hopefully those muscles have worked hard. Have a super week and I will see you next week. Bye guys.